right, hey everyone, welcome to the Temple of the Living God here in St. Petersburg, Florida. How is everyone doing? Yay! That's so nice on a Sunday morning. Well, hey guys, just in case you guys are noticing something different on your TV screen, we're getting the band back together. So please welcome back Carol, welcome back Richard. And Richard's brought us our first song today, and of course, Alex is still here, so yay. All right, everyone.
Yay, Alex.
So,
and Steve.
Steve, hey Steve.
Hey. And Steve is still here, and Daniel.
And I'm still here. Yeah,
Didn't he do a great job?
Oh, yes. But that's another day. So let's get this started. What? Oh, Alex does whistle. He whistles. It's a mean whistle. That's why his mic is unplugged. All right, everyone. Let's do this, Richard.
Okay, I need some volume on my instrument here, though. It's gone. Disappeared. It was there before.
It'll come back, yeah. There we go. There we go.
All right.
And the miracles begin.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Oh, if you know the words, feel free to join in. I love seeing all your smiling faces here.
Nice.
I saw a blind man. He was a kind man, helping a fellow alone. One could not see, one could not walk, but they both were humming this song.
What were they singing, Richard?
When you're smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. When you're crying, you bring on the rain, so stop your sighing. Be happy again, keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Isn't it nice to have Richard back, everyone?
I used to worry, I used to hurry each time it started to rain.
Oh no, what about my hair?
Now I see light,
It's the glare.
learned wrong from right, and you'll never hear me complain.
Or me neither. How about you, Carol?
'Cause when you're smiling,
When you're smiling,
when you're smiling,
when you're smiling,
the whole
world,
smiles.
well, it's smiling at you.
And when you're laughing, when you're
I'm
laughing,
laughing so hard I'm crying.
the sun comes shining through. crying. You bring on the rain, so stop your sighing. Be happy again, keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, finish, the whole world smiles. Yeah, the whole world smiles. The whole world smiles with you. Thank you. Keep smiling. All right.
And we'd like to welcome those on social media back with us. And today we have a very special guest with us today. She hasn't been here in a while, and we are so very grateful for Reverend Mary Moore back with us again. Yes. And her talk title is Your Abundance is Within. And so we are looking forward to Mary's wisdom and truth that she will be sharing with us. And so I'd like to share an inspirational reading that I've taken from Daily Word, and it actually speaks on inner peace. And it reads as such, and I quote, I am grateful for life. I am at peace. Life is the energy of God flowing through me, invigorating my body and illuminating my mind. Life is the confident, creative, resilient spirit that expresses through me in all that I am and all that I do. I give thanks for the aliveness in me. I am grateful for wholeness, for my body's ability to work and rest, and for the Christ Spirit active within me. I appreciate my mind and my mind's ability to think and create. In any challenging situation, I turn my attention to God, my source of abundant inner peace and serenity. Attuned to God's loving presence, I am shown the way of clarity, insight, and right action. Relying on my inner source of life to meet my every need, I am richly blessed and at peace. And so it is. And so now let us listen to Carol and Alex.
What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it is wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will we mend on an old golden rule? As sure as I believe there's a heaven above, Alfie, I know there's something much more, something even non-believers can believe in. I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist nothing, Alfie. When you look, let your heart lead the way, and you'll find love every day, Alfie.
Well, thank you, Reverend Carmen, for the reading. And thank you to Carol and the Goodfellows, or Daniel and the other Goodfellows. I'm not sure what to say at this point. But thank you, Carol, and thank you, Daniel, and everyone, all the Goodfellows. I wanted to have a conversation with you this morning, and let's just join together and consider some ideas together. The title of my conversation with you is Your Abundance is Within You. And really, everything is within you. Sometimes with things that are going on in the world, people call me and say, what is going on? And I go, well, we're going through a cycle, about politics or war in other countries. We're going through a cycle. And I really got that from Madame Blavatsky and the Secret Doctrine and all the lineage of teachers that followed her in Theosophy, is that we're going through a cycle. And what comfort that might give someone, I feel, is that it's not eternal. Nothing here on this earth plane is eternal. It's only the divine within us that is changeless and always here and always available to us to access. And so I personally find that comforting. People still keep calling me, so I guess they do too. Anyway, so out of this, we remember that there is one, right? Jesus said, I've come that you might have life and that you may have it more abundantly. He said, love the Lord your God with all your soul and with all your heart and all your might. Love your neighbor as yourself. So out of the one source comes the many. So all of us, that puts us all in the same place because we're all part of the one, right? And then what you give out, you give back. So a little different way of saying it, but it's the same idea. Dr. David Hawkins says, aware mind values getting the total picture and seeing the options. It is therefore more flexible and adaptable. So when he talks about aware mind, he's talking about the divine mind. Values the total picture and seeing all the options out here. When we have depression or we have fear or whatever it is, we're not looking at all the options. It is therefore more flexible and adaptable. The ego focuses on specifics. Awareness is concerned with generalities and the essence of what's in us. The ego is exclusive, whereas the spirit is inclusive. And we'll discuss this again one more time in a little different format because I like that so much. Louise Hay always used to say to us, you want to do what's good for you because you're going to be with you forever. Everything else in your life is going to come and go, but you're going to be with you forever. So you want to do what's good for you. The two affirmations that built her empire, she was worth $50 million when she died, but it resurrected her to good health and all the abundance that she experienced in this lifetime. Whatever I need will come to me. Whatever I need to know will be revealed to me. Those were the two affirmations. Whatever I need will come to me. Whatever I need to know will be revealed to me. So as we work with this, we begin to see that we are CEO of ourselves. we're always clamoring to be the manager, to be the leader, to be the something. And really, we have our hands full if we just take care of ourselves. I was studying with a woman in January of 2023. I'd never met her before. We were taking a class over Zoom, and she said some really great quotes. She was trying to teach us how to facilitate groups for attitudinal healing. And she said this. She said, if you take care of yourself first, everyone around you is automatically healed. Wow. When she said that, I was just like, I dropped out. I was like, I got drunk on that comment. Wow, that's amazing. When you take care of yourself first, everyone around you is automatically healed. Wow. So we are CEO of ourselves, and we are, and we have our hands full, just managing ourselves, managing our life. There's a law in physics. For every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So it's the idea that if we force something, it will come back to us. How do we force things? With our words, with our thoughts, with our actions. We force things to happen, and it's going to come back to us. So I've been doing a lot of practicing lately about being in situations and just being powerful, just being in my power. So that's the difference between pushing and just being in power. And what does power look like? Well, I'm sitting there and I'm being still and quiet, and I am maybe talking or not talking, but I just don't create any controversy. There's nothing worth saying that's that important, Just a bunch of words flowing out of the mouth, you know what I'm saying? And no matter what country you go to, no matter where I visit, it's the same life, it's the same life. So when you realize that, you move into that powerful place. And what that is you stay inside yourself and you're just thinking about your magic place, like where you are relaxed and comfortable. Maybe it's on a cliff and the ocean waves are coming in, or walking along the earth and just maybe dancing in the meadow, whatever that quiet place is. And as a result of that, you just feel powerful. You feel a quiet power. Because Dr. Hawkins points out to us, in that quietness, in that silence, is where we find the power. It's where we find the power. So it's not about doing, it's about being. There's an illustration in one of Dr. Hawkins' book. Obviously, I've been studying him quite a bit lately. And he uses the following illustration. And I think it's so great because we get into these mental concepts. And in a way, that is like forcing too. It's like using force. Dr. Hawkins wrote a book, Power versus Force. And so anyway, he gives this illustration. There was a woman whose son had died in the military, and she was notified. She got in her rocking chair, and she began rocking, and she moved into a place of, she left this earth. Now, this is 2023, and there's all kinds of material being written about neuroplasticity, epigenetics. It's all about that this neural circuitry inside of each one of us can be regenerated, renewed, and replenished. Whatever has happened in this entire body. I feel like in 1990, I was reading this sci-fi book, and I was on the plane to Europe, and I saw where this planet had achieved the point where they were no longer sick. And I said, that's where we're going. We're not going to be sick anymore. It's just if we can be in our power and everyone around us is automatically healed, we're moving there. We're moving there. Does it mean that you don't take healing classes or you don't come up here for healing? No, of course not. But it's just that I think we need to know what the big picture is so that we can continue to move in that direction. So having said that, she got in her rocking chair and she began rocking. Well, 2 weeks later, the Department of Defense notifies her family through a telegram and says, Joey's still alive. So her daughter goes and says, hey, Ma, I have good news for you. Joey's still alive. And she's still rocking. What has she done? And how do many of us do that same thing from time to time, and maybe all the time? We get into a mental thought pattern and we can't rise out of it. It's very difficult to rise up and above that. And so we just keep rocking in that same thought pattern. But the reality is there's a whole different life going on around her. Joey's coming home. He's going to give her a hug, a whole nother life. But she's not available to experience that because she's gotten into this rut and this thought pattern. Well, now I'm going to move along and I'm going to give you an example of someone that I feel like lives in the present moment. She's a very creative woman. I met her. I was sitting at a card table in the back in front of the sound booth, and she came in and we began talking. And it's led to like a 4 or 5 year friendship. She had a dream. She wanted to go to the Midwest. And I personally did not think that she should go. Not some foreboding thing, but I just felt like it was a heavy lift, a heavy lift. So anyway, she wants to go to the Midwest, and so she continues to talk to me from time to time. And it must have taken her 4 to 6 months to get out of this area once we began talking. And she credits me with helping her. I didn't do anything. She did everything. By the way, I want to pause and say she credits you all, this temple, with helping her in her spiritual growth. And she is an amazing woman. She said, so everything that I told her, I always offered it to her with respect. This is what I see. What do you want to do with that? And every time she came back, I would be on the phone with a smile on my face because she would have taken what I said and made it her own. Made it her own. And she didn't do exactly what I said, but she took it and made it her own. And I thought, what a creative woman. She is so into her own power and she's into her own knowingness. And wow, this is awesome. So I always had a smile on my face watching her. One night I called her and she was telling me this story, and she has this hotline to God. So this is what she does. She looks up, she has her phone. She says, God, 3 calls, 3 dials, and then I'm hanging up. The 4th dial, I'm hanging up, okay? So make sure they pick up. So she's calling to apply for a job. And so she gets this person on the phone in 3 dials, and they begin to talk about her opportunity to be a manager at this particular place. When she left here, she said, I have a lot of things that I want to do to help people. And she's worked in social services. Worked people who are working on sobriety, people directly out of prison, in a halfway house. So lots of things she's done. So anyway, she's on the phone and she's talking to this person. And the person says, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the position if you can find a place to live. Well, in some of those smaller areas, you don't go rent an apartment. It's not easy to find a place in the Midwest in some of those smaller towns. So she gets on social media. She finds this place and she calls them. And they said, I've been thinking about renting this place, but I was waiting for the right person. And I think it's you. I have this amethyst crystal in this bedroom in this area where I'm wanting to rent it out, and I have a Buddha in there. She said, save that place for me. I'm coming. So she calls the person who hired her back and said, I found a place to live. And the woman's going, what are you talking about? I just talked to you 15 minutes ago. She said, I found a place to live and I'm coming. Hold the job for me. Anyway, she went. And that was good. So I talked to her maybe every 6 months or once a year. And so she texts me about a month or so ago. She's given up social services because she's gotten burned out, which I totally understand. When you're working with issues like that, it's hard. It's really hard. And all my friends who have worked in those fields, they leave after a year or two, and she's left. So anyway, she met this person. They went out to dinner, and they went back to his place, and they were talking, and she said, Mary, I hadn't been in a relationship for years. So we just went out to dinner. No big deal, right? She said, he beat me until I felt like I was going to die. And she said, and I think this is what saved her, because she lives so in the moment with the divine. She said, I felt like I was going to die, so I just surrendered. And I feel like when he felt her body relax, he backed off because he thought he had done his thing. So anyway, she goes unconscious and she awakens and she gets herself together. She finds her purse and keys, and he's out in the living room on the couch. And this is what she does. Now, who does this? Who does this? She's walking across the living room floor to get out the door, to get to her car, to go home. And she doesn't even address anything that's happened. She just said, I'm going to go check on my dogs. Okay, I'm just going to go check on my dogs. I'm sitting here giggling. I mean, like, who has the presence of mind and the wherewithal to say, I'm just going to go check on my dogs, okay? So anyway, he bounds up from the couch. She gets out the door. She gets in her car, and she leaves. And, of course, her words were, he was coming after me to finish off the job. But there's so much of God around her that I felt like that was not too sad of a story. I mean, the whole time she was telling me, I had a smile on my face. Of course, I was empathetic, and I asked questions like, are you okay? Where are you now? Blah, blah, blah. But I am always so enchanted and enamored with how she handles her life. What a miraculous life. And, you know, she moves out west, and this is not exact, but she moved to this place called Bliss Lane, or, you know, all these things that kind of have signals like you're going in the right direction. And these miracles happen for her all the time. So she was telling me about this, and of course, knowing who she is as a soul, I have a little smile on my face because I'm thinking, she did it again. I mean, she got herself out of there, and she's okay. She's now moved out of that particular area in a completely different area where he cannot find her, and her life is good. So I use that as an illustration to say, do you want to be in the present moment? Because people have been calling me and asking me, you know, with all this turbulence and all these changes in economics and what's happening for our future, where do I land? Where is my place of safety? I'm telling you, the place is inside yourself. You have to trust that above all else. When we're supposed to go to Bitcoin and all these changes supposedly happening sometime within the next 10 to 20 years. Where do you find your safe space? It's within you, because we have this big field around each one of us. And so as we move in this field, we tend to attract or repel certain situations to us. So therein, we find our safety as a result of that. I want to come back to Dr. Hawkins one more time. The ego is interested in being seen as right and focused on doing something, no matter what the results are. How many times have we started doing something and we're myopic? We just that is the ego. We just have to do something no matter what the results are. It does not dawn on the ego that there can be social situations for which there are no solutions. We don't have necessarily what she had happen to her, but we have social situations, right? Family, big drama in my family right now, not my personal family, but extended family, like a big dynasty thing. Not that my extended family has that kind of money, but, power, a death in the family, and then there's power, the love of money, greed, and I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just walking around, I don't have any dog in a fight. So there are no solutions. They have to be lived with and accepted as part and parcel of the human condition. Hey, there's just life, and we just, it's not perfect in this dimension. We get all frustrated because we think the divine should be down here. Well, it is as much as we can bring it in. Good luck. The ego relies on force, whereas difficult problems can only be resolved through power, which transcends the positionalities of good and bad and sees so-called problems as projects. So we transcend the good and bad. We transcend this level. We go to power, and we see projects. And we just make the best of it. We just make the best of it. Just enjoying life, finding all those little things in our daily life. From the fresh water. Can you imagine living in some of the parts of the world right now? No fresh water, no food. Oh, standing in line for hours. Somebody said they stood all day just to get a drink of water. So we have so much to be grateful for in the United States of America. Always remember that your rear view mirror is smaller than your windshield. So everything that's in the past is in the past, and we're going here. We're just looking out the windshield. Reverend Carmen is trying to get me off here, but I got some funnies to tell you before I go. I'm sorry. We're going to do this. Now, it's Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and we got to get prepared, okay? I thought after that, kind of, some of that heaviness, we would laugh for a little bit. All right. The first thing you need to remember is to avoid carrot sticks. Anyone who puts carrot sticks on a holiday buffet table knows nothing of the Christmas spirit. In fact, if you see carrots, leave immediately. Go next door where they're serving rum balls. If something comes with gravy, use it. That's the whole point of gravy. Gravy does not stand alone. Pour it on, make a volcano out of your mashed potatoes, fill it with gravy, eat the volcano, and repeat. As for mashed potatoes, always ask if they're made with skim milk or whole milk. If it's skim, pass. Why bother? It's like buying a sports car with an automatic transmission. Do not have a snack before going to a party in an effort to control your eating. The whole point of going to a Christmas party, to eat other people's food for free. Lots of it. Hello? Under no circumstances should you exercise between now and New Year's. You can do that in January, when you have nothing else to do. This is the time for long naps, which you'll need after circling the buffet table while carrying a 10-pound plate of food and that vat of eggnog. If you come across something really good at a buffet table, like frosted Christmas cookies in the shape and size of Santa, position yourself there near them. Don't budge. Have as many as you can before becoming the center of attention. They're like a beautiful pair of shoes. If you leave them behind, you're never going to see them again. Same for pies. Apple, pumpkin, mincemeat. Have a slice of each. Or if you don't like mincemeat, have 2 apples, 1 pumpkin. Always have 3. When else do you have more than one dessert? Labor Day? Did someone mention fruit cake? Granted, it's loaded with mandatory celebratory calories, but avoid it at all costs. You have to have some standards, right? And one final tip. If you don't feel terrible when you leave the party or get up from the table, you haven't been paying attention. Reread tips, start over, but hurry. January is just around the corner. And remember this motto to live by. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving in a safely attractive, well-preserved body, but rather skid in sideways, chocolate in one hand, drink in the other, body thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and screaming, "Woohoo! What a ride!"
Now, how do I follow that? I won't say. I'll have to. Oh, I should have been. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You're absolutely right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Reverend Mary, for being here and for shining your light. And we look forward to having you back. And I would like to remind you, actually, I would want to ask you, has anybody noticed anything different when you come into the sanctuary?
Yes, the beautiful painting. All the holes are gone.
The holes have disappeared, and we've had a wonderful paint job on the walls. Lighter, brighter. Yes, so thank you to all the painting angels that have stepped in, and for those of you who have supported this project along the way. There's more to come, but that's going to be in the back area coming in the new year. So we look forward to that. So we're going to move into our time of tithes and offerings at this time, and I would ask the ushers to come forth at this time. And we invite you to take your tithes and gifts in your hands and bless them as the ushers come forth. And let us pray. Divine Infinite Spirit, we give thanks for this opportunity to share from our hearts, to give from the depths of our souls. Give, so shall we receive. And we acknowledge that divine love moving through each and every one of us blesses and multiplies all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is. Thank you, God. And now let us listen to Daniel, Carol, Richard, and Alex as they close out the service.
Still working on that name, huh?
The good folk.
Yeah, the good-looking fellows.
That's
I
it,
know that
right,
was
Alex? That's
Alex's idea. And speaking of shining your light, Mary,
Kudos.
this is a good song that kind of promotes that.
Get up on your feet. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
One more time on that.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide when you go out and shine your light. I hear you. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, gotta make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. Yeah.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this wonderful service. Don't forget to stay for Lynn Forrest's metaphysical talk on the Bible afterwards, right here in the sanctuary. But until that starts, go out into the lobby, meet and greet your friends, have some snacks, check out the bookstore. We've got some great stuff for the holidays. See you next week.
Give